What is this? 5 what? 515. Okay. And it's a standalone. It's not. It doesn't use. So use scanner next line to get a line of user input. Output the line. Example: enter text IDK if I'll go. It's my BFF's birthday. You entered IDK if I'll go. It's my BFF's birthday. All right. Search the string using indexOf for common abbreviations and print a list of each found abbreviation along with its decoded meaning. Okay. So. All right. So obviously, scanner in equals new scanner system in. String message just to get going. System out println. What does it say? Enter text. Enter text semicolon. Okay. Message equals in dot next line. System out println. You entered colon, right? No, is there a space after? Yeah. So there's a space here and a space here. You entered plus message. All right, and then we have to decode it, right? All right. So we need to go through and print out every decoding for the. Well, there's only 5, right? Easiest way, you can shorten it up, but the easiest way is just write each check as a separate if statement. So indexOf tells you if where in your string that phrase begins. Okay? So if it doesn't show up in there, you'll get a -1. Okay? Right? Because where does an index value start in a string? 0, up to however many there are. If I give you -1, -1 never exists. And that will tell you that the value is not in there. Okay? So, if message index of, and then we're going to give it something, BFF, right? If that is greater than or equal to 0, if that's a true statement, then system out println, and we're supposed to decode it as BFF okay. If message index of IDK is greater than or equal to 0, saying it does exist. System out println IDK, I don't know. And then we just have to obviously make sure that it matches exactly what they don't know, right? JK is just kidding. All right, so we're just going to keep copying this and pasting it. All right, so JK, if JK exists, JK, just kidding. Alright, so JK, just kidding with a lowercase j, because that probably will matter. TMI, too much information, so if TMI is in there, too much information, and TTYL, that seems to handle it all, right? Handles all 5 of them. We just write it, check for each one. Is it in? Does it is it present inside of that string? Okay. So, what we're supposed to write. So, IDK if I'll go. It's my BFF's birthday, so we'll type that in as our optional input. We'll run it.
Okay, so basically you're using indexOf method to test whether there is an abbreviation in the sentence, right?
Yeah. Well, what indexOf does is you give it a string, and it checks if those sequence of characters exist in the string you're checking it on. If you get a number that's not -1, then it's in there somewhere. All right. So let's see. So you entered IDK. If I'll go, it's my BFF's birthday. So it seems. Now I can run it. I will submit it for grading because it doesn't matter to me. But it seems to be working. So let's submit it for grading and see what it says. Boom, boom. Oh, okay. So for me, it failed on. Oh, no S. Oh, really? All right. So best. Yeah. Okay. So just read carefully, right? Best friend forever. Okay. I think that's I think it should be best friends, but whatever. So that's the only thing it failed on for us. So I'll reset. I think I can resubmit it. You can't. All right. So that kind of makes sense as to how that will work. Dun da da da. 6 out of 6. Boom. All right.
So it's equal sign and then greater sign, right?
Right. So greater than always comes first. Right. The equal sign is the last one. So greater than or equal to 0. Now I could also do it like this. If does not equal -1, you know? I could do it like that as well, although again you really want to try to avoid negations if at all possible because they get tricky. So it's easier to write a true statement greater than or equal to 0 rather than a negation of because that gets hard to pay attention to. Alright, so that one works. Anything else? The next one. Alright, well let's copy, just so we have it, I'm going to copy this one. So I don't have to keep typing it all by hand, just in case it is directly related. And text message expander. Okay. Used to get an input of string, which we just did. Support these abbreviations, which it does. Replaced, I don't know. So, so now you're going to expand it. Okay. So, very similar. Actually, I'm just going to go up and copy only the part we need. So inside the main, okay. Alright, so same sort of idea. So we can start by putting that in there. Now this tells us if it's in there, right? But I don't want to print out that it's in there. I want to replace it. So the easiest thing is these we can just change. So these just become replaced BFF with, okay, so BFF in quotes. It's not going to know what to do with that, is it? With, let's see, so we can best, so with best friend forever. Okay. Now we have to figure out how to actually replace it.
Do we use replace method?
Alright. Let's try and see if that works for one. So message dot replace what? The string BFF with the string. Now, the trick is we have to worry about formatting. No, I think we don't need spaces. I think the space is already in there. Best friend forever. Okay. Now, before we do anything else, what should we do?
Run it.
We should run it. So come down to our develop, and here just put I don't know. Bob is my BFF. We'll see what we get. Entered text. You entered Bob is my BFF. Replace BFF with best friend forever. But we have a space that they're not going to want there, right? Okay. So, and then what do we need? Oh, we need a period after the quote, right? Does that now match? And then we're supposed to print out, and then what did we forget to do? Now we have to do this part too, expanded, right? The finished product. So at the end of all of our if statements, system out.println, or print, I don't think that, we'll see if it yells at us. Print the message with everything replaced, right? But not just message. We have to print expanded with a colon, right? Expanded and then the message. Okay, so that's easy enough. Println, in quotes, expanded, space, plus message. All right, so now let's run it. Run the program. Enter text was Bob is my BFF. You entered Bob is my BFF. Replaced BFF with best friend forever. Expanded Bob is my BFF.
I don't get the slash. Like, the slash and quote.
Well, we'll go over that in a second. So first notice it didn't save my change, did I? This returns a message, but then I never resaved it. Alright, so I have to put it back into message, or else, because that's a return method actually. Now it works. Alright, so remember, you've done /n before, correct? What is /n? It's a special character called an escape sequence. The slash is an escape character. It means ignore what's next and don't run it if you know what it is. /n is a special character called the new line. It knows what that means. That's shorthand for hit enter, right? If I do /n like this. However, if I want to print a quotation mark, the problem is that the computer knows what quotation marks are, right? They are ends of strings. So really, this means replaced space. That's one string right there right now.
Yeah.
BFF's just floating in the middle of nowhere. So what I have to do is I have to put the escape character in front of it, and that's going to tell it ignore the next character you see. So don't pretend you don't understand that that's supposed to be an actual executable command. So just ignore it. So that way it'll actually end up printing the quotation mark for you. All right. So we have it working for BFF. So yeah, right. So we don't need to change our indexOfs. We just need to copy and paste the replaced I don't know with I don't know, and then actually call the replace method. And at this point, because we verified that it works, which is why you want to test it before you do all of that, right? But now that we've, followed good programming practice and tested it, I should be able to copy and paste and go through. And then just make sure, carefully that we've handled all cases appropriately. Now there is one thing that we haven't done yet, and when I run it, we'll see if you can figure it out. Alright, so real quick, we'll pause the data entry. I'm going to run the program. Well, we have our output right here. Right? So we have these 3 lines. Right? We have those 3 lines, but what's the difference between those 3 lines and this up here? Well, yeah, kind of, right? So what am I missing? I'm missing this space here and this space here to sort of break it up. So before I print message, I'm just going to do a system out.println and end with nothing. That'll give me a space there. And after I type enter, I'm just going to do an empty println there. Now when I run it, I should have my spaces as appropriate.
So we just to get actual space.
Correct. Alright, now I'm going to, I think mine's all set. I'm going to submit mine, see if there's anything wrong with it, and then we can solve that as we go. Look at that. A thing of beauty. Alright, any other questions? The next one is a participation activity, so you should be able to figure that part out. Alright, so we'll stop the